Greetings everyone. Today I want to introduce you to the staff pose, what's often known in yoga as the staff pose. So let me quickly introduce it to you and then we'll talk about it a bit. So in staff, your legs are going to be flat on the floor, straight out in front of you. You're going to stack your shoulders on top of your hips, your head on top of your shoulders. Arms will come down by your sides and extend straight. And you will likely be instructed to flex your feet, flex your toes back towards your head. This is a very challenging pose if your back of your legs are tight, if your low back is tight, if your core is weak. This can be a very challenging pose, but I consider it to be a very fundamental, a very basic human position. If you have spent much time with babies often sit with their legs straight out in front of them, flat on their bum, holding themselves upright. So in order to practice this position, if this position is challenging for you, I think it's often nice to do it up against a wall. So oftentimes I'll sit on the floor with my back against the couch. Today I'm going to sit on this seat with this little ledge right here. And I want to bring my seat back sort of as far as I can. And then rather than sort of leaning into the wall, I'm going to use a pillow. You can use a rolled up towel. You can use a foam roller. But in this position, I can sort of be in this position a little bit longer. I can relax into this position. I'm not working to hold myself up, and I can sort of sit in a place long enough to let some of the muscles start to relax. Hello, Kira. So, your arms can fall where they may. Your feet, you can make your feet super active, so if you want to pull your toes back, if you want to flex your feet, this is going to intensify the feeling you feel in the back of your legs. You can also just let your feet hang. We're going to be here for a little bit, so you can just sort of let yourself relax into it a bit. This behind you, I want you to take note of your sit bones, and I do want you to try and sit on your sit bones rather than on your coccyx. And if you can sort of imagine your tailbone extending out behind you. If you reach back, you should be able to feel the tip of your tailbone. It shouldn't be up underneath. You should be able to feel it back there. And we'll sort of let this sink in for a bit and be in this place. You can play around with how high this pillow is, depending on what's comfortable for you. And so I do feel a little bit in my low back here. I feel a lot in my calves, particularly higher up in my calves, sort of behind my knee a bit. I feel it on my sit bones themselves. You may feel it in different places. But when you find this position, I want you to spend some time here. So you may choose to meditate in this position. You may consider what we're doing today sort of a meditation. You may also choose to do an activity in this position. So you can read a book, you can watch TV, you can fold some laundry. You can do whatever you want to do. But spending a little bit more time here is going to change the sensation. It's going to change where you feel the sensation. And you may notice things starting to relax, things starting to open up. Now in this position you can play around with your legs. So usually I would say I'd recommend staying in this position for a little bit. 10, 15 minutes if you can manage it. Before you start doing this, but you can also do it right away. You can play around with spreading your legs a little bit wider maybe. You can rotate your feet inward. You can rotate your feet outward. And take note of what you notice in your hips. how your pelvic floor is interacting with your seat. You may point your toes, you may flex your feet. Oftentimes after I've spent some time in this position, I end up liking to fold a bit, and I can get much deeper after spending a good amount of time in this position than I can get in a forward fold. First thing when I wake up in the morning. I usually can't grab my toes first thing when I wake up in the morning. And as you stay in this position, it may feel good to end up stretching a little bit. So that is going to be staff position. This is going to be a very fundamental position again, I think. A position we should strive to be able to do with ease. So if you can't do it with ease, maybe practice it a bit. And I will hope to see you all soon. Take care. What are you chewing on?